was a hard right hand over the top by Hopkins. De La Hoya hasn't done much down the stretch of this round, and now he lands a straight right hand. And now De La Hoya flurrying, lands another little left hook upstairs, and another left hand.
This is what I was speaking of, those flurries which Oscar can throw. Even if they don't land things, he can win a round.
And the crowd responds a la Leonard Hagler 17 years ago.
Good. Good. Keep fighting at the pace here. Keep fighting it. Keep fighting at your own pace, okay? You're doing good. Keep fighting at your own pace. Hey, put some Vaseline on. You can stop his jab, pick his jab, and stick him sometimes. Because he's taller, and you can get in, okay?
Counter over the top.
What's that?
When you jab, he hypnotizes. He looks at it. Remember?
Okay.
Remember, then he'll try to jab with you, and you can fire over the top like Hoya said. But your jab make him hypnotize. He don't work until you stop it.
Once again, you see Oscar landing a punch, and even though I don't think it was that much of a devastating punch, it was enough to still win the round. Bernard was going to wait, but it was compared to nothing. It won the round.
De La Hoya with that last flurry in the last 20 seconds of the round may well have stolen it, in which case he could be up 2 rounds to love on at least some of the scorecards.
Hopkins said he wouldn't make the same mistake that Hagler did in allowing Leonard to win the early rounds, thinking he'd retire late. Hopkins is now trying to outbox the boxer, which was the mistake that Hagler made.
And from what I can gather, and I may be wrong, don't seem as if Oscar's punching with really super power, but he's still landing blows. I think Bernard should step it up and try to be a little bit more physical at this stage right now. Otherwise,
But Bernard Hopkins has been known to wrestle, to punch low when necessary. He's been seen as a guy who flirts with the rules in a lot of ways. So far, there's been little of that here, although moments ago he grabbed Oscar De La Hoya in close, and maybe we're going to see some of the roughhouse tactics, which have sometimes emerged in Hopkins' career.
Well, if he continues to fight this comfortable fight, he'll just let his championship slide away.
Right hand over the top for Hopkins. The crowd oohs and ahs. De La Hoya tries to retaliate as referee Kenny Bayless breaks him apart.
The sneak right hand has been the most effective punch for Hopkins. His jab is just not really very effective.
De La Hoya with a left hook to the body after Hopkins missed over the top with the right hand. And here we go. Hopkins begins bullying De La Hoya into the ropes. Crowd responds immediately.
How Bayless handles that sort of tactic could well determine the outcome of this fight.
Body punches for De La Hoya. Bayless tells De La Hoya to keep him up, but the contact was there. De La Hoya blocking Hopkins' jab with his gloves. Not sure Bernard has done enough in the first 2 minutes of this round to ensure himself of winning round 3. He might want to try to put something in the bank in these last 50 seconds. There's a right hand, but that'll help.
But he's got to do more than that because no one is landing nothing clean. And when you have a guy with fast hands, he creates more excitement with the crowd and with the judges.
Hopkins misses again. De La Hoya gets a chance to land a little counter left hook.
There is no impression in this fight that Hopkins is the bigger, stronger man that he is supposed to be.
He's not imposing himself that way. He's not making it a physical fight. He's in there playing a war of nerves for the moment against Oscar De La Hoya. And De La Hoya, with his faster hands, is scoring more.
Even if the punches don't land that clean, he still is going to get the credit for it because they look better.
He's throwing more. He's throwing at the right times. He may not be landing much, but Oscar De La Hoya is fighting the fight that he wants more than Hopkins is right now.
Absolutely, and he may have 3 rounds in the bank.
Man's an old man. You got to he's an old man right now, man. You're looking at worse than I ever seen it. Man, look here. When you got him in the corner, he ain't doing shit, man. Break with the left hook right hand. You know how to do that. Break with him. I guarantee you're going to land it.
It's coming now. Look that shot to the shoulder.
Take a couple deep ones for me, baby. Take a couple deep ones for me. Deep again. You all right? Okay. Now you want to counter the jab, baby. Counter the jab and go with the loop.
Hopkins' punches, even though they may not create as much excitement as Oscar's, have much more damage and effect on him. But the thing is, he's not throwing enough of them. He's throwing a punch and then running into a clinch at the same time.
You heard Floyd Mayweather Sr. say he looks like an old man. He looks like an old man compared to De La Hoya's quickness with his hands. That may be the story of the fight.
Well, how old is he getting? Is he down 30 to 27 on Harold Letterman's card? Harold, how do you have it so far?
What's your neck quite? 29 to 28, 2 rounds to 1. Oscar De La Hoya. Without question, I thought Oscar won the first 2 rounds with that jab. Bernard looked like he wasn't sharp at all, not snapping out any jabs like he did against Trinidad. On the other hand, in round 3, somehow or another, he came alive, landed a real good solid right hand that I thought did more damage. 2 to 1. De La Hoya.
Hopkins' left hook partially blocked by De La Hoya's glove. De La Hoya didn't get a chance to counter. Bernard was out of there. Hard right hand down the pipe lands for Hopkins on De La Hoya's face. His best punch of the fight so far.
Yeah, but I can see Bernard has a lot more authority on his punches. Oscar, even when he does punches, he's throwing that pop punch, and he's not really loading up on the punches.
And now Hopkins begins to go to the body. I wondered when he'd begin starting to get to De La Hoya's rib cage. He's a good body puncher and has been throughout his career.
Hopkins is definitely picking up the pace. Not that much, but he's picking it up just enough where it's starting to give him a little edge in the scoring, I believe.
De La Hoya, in order to make big impact, may have to hope that Hopkins walks into something. But he gets in 3 good body shots there. And blocks Hopkins' upstairs stuff with his gloves. Now Hopkins gets 1 left hand through the guard.
He can't get away from those, man. He can't get away from him, man.
Left hook landed for Hopkins. De La Hoya with a body shot. Hopkins came back upstairs, left and a right. They trade punches at center ring. De La Hoya landing twice below the belt. Kenny Bayless didn't see it.
But I think this is what Hopkins needs to do. Keep burying in, pushing him with his left shoulder. Even if Oscar's throwing punches, still pushing with his left shoulder and being very physical. And he'll drain a lot of Oscar's strength.
Bernard may still be somewhat surprised by Oscar De La Hoya's willingness to step forward and seeming willingness to trade with him.
I definitely believe that he's surprised.
Just continually beating Hopkins to the punch with the jab. Hopkins' most effective punches have been a sneak right hand. His jab has virtually done nothing so far.
Oscar De La Hoya told us 1 week ago in our live interview from Puerto Rico, he said, I'm not going to be running. I'm going to stand in there and fight with Bernard. Hopkins said, don't believe it. So far, believe it.
Not only fighting him, for the most part, he's been equally as aggressive as Hopkins has been.
A fascinating first 4 rounds.
All right, baby. All right. Getting a little closer to that jab, son. Getting a little closer to the jab, baby. Give me my piece. You're getting a little closer with the jab. No, back here. What's up? Yeah, you went there. Oh, your head up here.
Bayless, you've been getting close to the body. You've been getting inside close. Let them punches go where I told you, all right?
You're smart, baby. You're fucking great fucking shape. Gotta control this guy with your jab, Oscar. You're way low on jab. Pick him up.
In those exchanges down there, it's very difficult a lot of time for the referee to see what's going on. But in this case, sure, he should have saw that because it was 2 low blows. And he was in a good position to see the blows.
De La Hoya did unto Hopkins what we expected Hopkins to do unto De La Hoya.
Through the first 4 rounds, Bernard Hopkins averaging 30 punches thrown per round. De La Hoya not much higher at 38 punches thrown per round. Both men relatively cautious, relatively self-protective, trying to figure out what kind of a fight it's going to be, trying to not to make a big mistake early.
I think one of the mistakes that has been made is definitely the fact that Hopkins' corner is not telling him that the score, what they think the score is, not just saying throw another jab, baby, you're doing this, you're doing that. You should tell him that the fight is close or that you're losing the fight and you're going to have to do something. And you're a little bit more excited about what you're doing.
Good combination by De La Hoya, and then he got out of the way. 1 punch was blocked, but 2 landed. Now Hopkins holds him and hits him inside, and De La Hoya tries to get back at him with 1 left-hand punch to the body before they break apart.